Hey, PathFinder, are you struggling to define what love looks like in your life? Are you having a hard time loving friends, family, colleagues, or romantic partners? Maybe you are just nervous about God's love, wondering if the call path creator could accept your love of the same gender or someone society thinks is unworthy or different. The good news is discovering all these forms of love is possible. Both receiving love and giving love to others, no matter who they are, is a necessary part of your call path progression. Today, on the spiritual spot, I'm going to give you 3 ways to define love as an element. So, to the transgender, to the inmate, to the sick, to the lonely, and to every pathfinder needing to know more about love, let's get going. I've been in the pews and stood behind the pulpit. I know that faith isn't easy and church can be hard. No matter how large the crowd, I realized the greatest ministry was done one-on-one. So I created this Sunday spiritual spot to let some light in, awakening your spirit and stirring your soul. Pathfinder, join me in living a fulfilled life and empowering our world now. Today, I'm going to give you the 3 ways to define love as an element. Now, I already told you I was a geek, so I'm going to put on my Bill Nye the Science Guy hat for a moment. Now, the reason I say element is because an element is a substance that is made entirely from one type of atom. For example, the element hydrogen is made from atoms containing a single proton and a single electron. If you change the number of protons an atom has, you change the type of element it is. Like the elements silver, gold, nitrogen, and oxygen, love is an element. The ancient Greeks used 7 words to define different states of love we can experience. Storge, which is natural affection like mother to child. Philia, which is friendship, where we get Philadelphia, or city of brotherly love. Eros, which is sexual and erotica. Ludus, which is flirting. Philia, which is self-love. Pragpa, which is committed, married love. And agape, which is unconditional divine love. And though there are many different kinds of love to experience, the romantic and affectionate expression of love is what most of us seek. Because you want it so bad, you end up adding to it or subtracting from it to make it fit a model that you feel is right. Don't believe me? Well, I've been abused in a relationship and somehow merged abuse with love to justify it. I've also tried to force myself to love someone, subtracting the parts of what makes love necessary to be authentic. Religion tells you you can't love someone because of their sexual orientation. Why not? Love is an element. It just is what it is. You can't add your own opinion or subtract the full essence of God's love. In fact, you can't add anything or subtract anything if you really want to know and understand God's purpose and power in your life. So, this is why it's so important to discover the 3 ways to define love as an element. Here we go. The first way to define love as an element is chemistry. The interesting thing about elements is you can put them under a microscope and view them, but you can't create them. No one has been able to create oxygen or has the Midas touch to turn things into gold. Basic elements cannot be created, only observed and used for a purpose. Love is an element that cannot be controlled. When love is a part of the equation, without you asking, your brain releases chemicals, causing you to experience a range of emotions. It makes you smile when you want to cry, laugh when you want to yell. When love enters a space, you feel it in your guts, and it changes your mind. Proverbs 27:19 says, "As water reflects a man's face back to him, so is the heart of one man to another." This means that if you are treated with love, your heart feels it. Your heart is like a microscope, assessing your senses. Everything you see, hear, touch, smell is examined. You don't need to contemplate or ask questions. Loving smiles, words, or touches send back a report that love is present. Love is chemistry. The second way to define love as an element is commitment. Each element is defined only by itself. It doesn't try to be anything else. Gold is not trying to be silver. Hydrogen is not attempting to be oxygen. Each element is secure in being itself. This is the true essence of commitment. Commitment is unwavering, unconditional, and can feel blinding at times because you will love in spite of things that are hurtful and tragic. The commitment is shown in 1 John 4:8 when we are told that God is love. God is so committed to love that the Creator identifies as the element itself. This is why love is an element. It cannot be altered. God is unwavering. It cannot be manipulated because God cannot be played. It cannot be fickle because God is so consistent. God doesn't just show love, God is love. In relationships, embrace love that's willing to commit through it all. It will work because God's love doesn't fail. Love is commitment. The final way to define love as an element is compatibility. Elements like to mix with other elements to create molecules, which can be used to create compounds. This sounds a lot like relationships. Two people who carry love can come together to form a relationship. As more of those relationships form, we develop communities. What we see in our communities, relationships, and within ourselves is based on compatibility. It determines if nations work together or wage war. 2 Corinthians 6:14 encourages us to be equally yoked in relationships. Why? Because similar elements are compatible. Love always mixes well with love. Love and compatibility work together to build a relationship. It allows business partners to work for years without lawsuits. Lovers can rebound from heartbreak. Love is compatible with anything like love. It will work with faith, peace, patience, long-suffering, kindness, and forgiveness. Love is compatible. But Byron, what if someone shows me they don't deserve my love? Well, my answer is simple. The Creator's love is committed to you, even when you don't deserve it. Respect the love you have for yourself while sharing the love of God back to others. Your personal relationships will strengthen, empowering your community. Here's the simple truth. God is love. That love is present in everything, peeking out during every moment in which we feel a spark of kindness, appreciation, or grace. That love is an element that refuses to change. It is consistent, enduring, unfailing. The question becomes, what is love? Well, what is dancing or laughing? Have you ever seen someone dance or laugh? You know exactly what dancing and laughing entails. It is action. So go show love and know the love of God will never fail to show up in your life. If you're enjoying this content, comment, subscribe, and share. Together, we are building a community of Pathfinders, leaders, changing the world while living fulfilled lives. Know I love you. Stay the path.